Okay, good afternoon. I am so excited you're here. We're going to talk about women's health and most specifically, like why you don't need to suffer with cramps. And that's just one side effect of a cycle that is unpleasant, right? There's lots of other things that we can do to support our bodies and hopefully reduce or minimize some of these impacts that we have as women throughout the month. I know that in my own experience, oftentimes, especially after having children, um, my cycle was inconsistent. It was more intense. And so finally, I just really dove in and tried to find the ways to make it not so intense. So let's dive right in. Okay. So, women's health and hormones. We all know that our cycles are dictated based off of our hormones. And in this, 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, I want to walk you through some key ways that you can support your body. But more importantly, it's not necessarily all about what you're putting in your body, but what's in our homes and what's around our bodies. And so it's just really important to think through those things as well when we're talking about hormones and our bodies. So I want to ask you though, on a scale of 1 to 10, how is your monthly cycle? Is it okay? Or if you're peri or postmenopause, how are your symptoms? I think that when we're checking in with each other or just with ourselves, it's important to realize that it doesn't have to be a terrible experience. You don't have to dread the normal life. Like this is, we are put on here, this is our bodies working at their best. But when we are dreading them, it's like because our bodies are not working at their best. So there are particular areas. For me, I know oftentimes it was just how my body felt. I would have just feel really achy, back pain, abdomen pain, and just also, I think, just super moody. So, and sometimes some head tension. So, those are just some things that were signaling to me that something, honestly, I didn't know any different. I didn't know it wasn't supposed to be terrible until I experienced it not being terrible. So, just put that out there. And so we all understand biology, but it's worth mentioning that all of these things work together in with other systems in our body. Everything is connected, right? So when it comes here, you're thinking, estrogen, progesterone are crucial to our emotional and our physical health. Well, if you have something that's disrupting that process, for example, you have fragrance in your laundry detergent, or you are using cleaners that disrupt your hormones because of the toxins within them, that plays a part. So, and of course, food and water, like key things that women forget to do: eat and drink water, because we're so busy, that it's really time to prioritize those things. And I have noticed specifically in my own experience that the when I reduced the sugars, the bad sugars. So when I reduced the amount of that, or if I may try and increase my water intake, I saw a difference. So, and of course, one of the things that is key to my success, I know, is the lifelong vitality. And this is doTERRA's supplements. And that is truly when I really started to see a difference. I'd heard about using these. I'd heard about people having this level of success or this experience. And so when I did it for myself, I was surprised. And then when I got pregnant with Owen, it was the first time that my blood work had ever been so good. I had the right amount of vitamin D. I had the right amount of folate, or otherwise known as folic acid. I had all the things. And so I just knew that this was a part of that. And so then even postpartum, that experience, I was curious, like, would it still be okay? And it really, really has been. A couple of other products, and these are leaning more towards people who are entering that peri and postmenopause. But phytoestrogen is not what you think. It's not estrogen, but it is something that helps us balance that. This isn't something that I've used, but I have really seen my friends and customers have really found it very beneficial. This is another supplement. I know that if I have any clients that are coming into their 40s and 50s, this is something that I am recommending them to start to take, because it is a known fact that our bodies, as we age, bone integrity is not as good. So moving our body is super helpful for that, but then also adding in a good solid supplement can be extremely beneficial. Now, rose. I actually brought my rose down here. This is something that I actually apply this daily. And at the very peak of the support that I need with this rose, it really is an emotional well-being. And so when I'm feeling that I am in need of that additional support, then I will just use it more frequently. But rose is so, so incredible, even just with daily support. And then there's Clary Calm. Also brought this down. This is a blend that is specifically geared towards women's health. I started using it, oh my gosh, I don't even remember. I think I don't even remember, but I know I was having really inconsistent cycles. It was after a miscarriage. So it must have been 2016. Or 2017. And so I just applied it to the inside of my ankles. So if this is your ankle, it's just like right underneath here. And reflexology tells us that that's what is connected to the reproductive system. And so I just apply there, and I apply it every single day. And then during the week of my cycle, I'm applying it over my abdomen as needed. And it helps with supporting any sort of muscle discomfort that I feel. But really, I know that it helps as part of my regulation. Like, I'm regulating my system by utilizing this blend every day. And some people don't do it that way, but that is what has worked for me. And at first, I realized that different times of the month, the smell, either I'm obsessed with it or I'm just like tolerate it, which is so interesting. But what it tells me is that it's giving me what my body needs when it needs it. And our oils are so magical in that way. One day one can smell just really off to you, but then the next day you just can't get enough of it. It's really incredible. So I want to talk about the endocrine system a little bit and kind of how these things work together. And so there are parts in our endocrine system. Think of basically right here, it's just like our glands. So our lymph nodes are, these glands in our armpits. And just off the top of my head, those are the easiest ways to think about it. But when we use a deodorant that can disrupt those things, it can cause downstream issues. And so you're probably thinking, Katie, my deodorant can actually impact my cycle. And the answer is yes. Hands down, 100% yes. And so it's really important to think about these things. And so this is where it's like our endocrine system is nutrient regulation and overall homeostasis of the entire body. So good food and water, if we're not getting that, then it's disrupting our whole system's balance, which can disrupt our hormones. So you start to see how those things are connected. And as I said, the essential oils, if our body needs something, we should use it because it's telling us that our cells need some sort of support. And that's where I really feel like the Clary Calm, using it every day, is beneficial because it's giving my body that daily support as it goes through the ups and downs of your natural cycle. Um, this is something that I am just really starting to dive into personally. So I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead, but I know that caring for our liver is huge, but I am not there yet. Pancreas as well. But the adrenals, this is something that I pay really actually pretty good close attention to. And this is those times where our body is just being maxed out. Not for lack of a better phrase, but I do use my Amino 2 Max twice daily. And when I feel like I am in times of really high stress, or I'm not getting the right amount of sleep, or I will apply Magnolia, and it's right along your waistline in the back or where your adrenals are. And so it's just applying those there. And that's one of those things, again, if I really feel like I'm needing Magnolia, I know there's something off with my emotional support, but then also just how my body is functioning. So signaling in on those things. And not to mention, I do really feel like if I'm not using my Meta 2 Max, I can tell a difference in my energy levels. So with those things, I think the next one that I don't have a slide for, but I'm going to share with you anyways, but is the new Deep Blue stick with Copaiba in it and the Copaiba roller. These are really great for discomfort management. And so using that Deep Blue stick across my abdomen or across my back, I have to be, again, completely transparent with you. I really don't have symptoms during my cycle, rarely anymore. And if I am experiencing symptoms, I know that there's something off in my body. So I really just want to put that out there that it is possible. But these, for those of you who still do experiencing some discomfort, these are amazing. And of course, Deep Blue. So I want to jump real quick to my suggestions. If you're looking for some ideas on like what to add to your next order, I think the best thing to do is really dive into using the Lifelong Vitality. I mean, frankincense is always a plus because it's a wide range. So whether you could always swap that out for the Clary Calm, you could swap it out for the rose. But frankincense is also really good to support our overall homeostasis and helping our cells do their best work. And then of course, another option, this is really more along that other organ support that we talked about. So I wanted to pop back to this one because this is the one that has Clary Calm in it, but I would really put together this wellness box with Clary Calm, and that would really get you started on some incredible support. So with that, I just want to thank you for joining me and learning a little bit more about women's health. And I hope that you found this beneficial. If you have any questions about ways to support you specifically, please reach out. This is what I'm here for. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your evening, wherever you are, or whenever you're watching this. Take care, my friends.